Hello everybody, it's Donna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As promised, I'm back with the card project using the Butterfly Kisses Sweet collection that I showcased on my Sunday showcase on February 12th, I believe it was. So this is the first card that we're going to be doing. I am taking inspiration from this card right here in the annual catalog, page 36 of the annual catalog. I changed it slightly, but not really, not a lot. I'm not using dimensionals on the banner, which I think they did. I'm not using dimensionals on the butterflies. I just stuck them down the center. This is my prototype. I am making another one just slightly different, so I'm just going to put that one aside for now. To start, I die cut out one of these butterflies at Eclipse Coral. I'm using the bigger complete one, and then I use crushed curry to cut out the little smaller one, the complete butterfly that's right there, as you can see. For the banner across the front, what I did is I first cut a piece 5.5 by 1/2 inch wide, and then I used the, let me see if I can get the name of this one right. It's a build a banner, I believe, punch. Let me see. Yeah, it says banners pick a punch, actually. And I'm just using the, not the arrow side, just the banner side to make the banner. So I just punched it out on either side so it had more like this type of banner. And then once that was punched out, then I stamped it. I did that because I wanted to make sure it was in the center, and it was easier to do it that way. So I made sure my stamping was in the center. And then I just used fresh freesia to stamp the So Glad You Exist from this stamp set in there. And then I sponged the edges just with a little bit of the fresh freesia, because on the original card I found it just didn't stand out that much. Okay, then we're going to take a piece of the design series paper that I showed you, and we've cut it to 5 1/4 by 4. So it's 1/4 inch smaller than the card base. We are using a standard 5 1/4 by 4 1/4 card base. To get the diagonal, all I did was I measured down 2 inches on either side. So down 2 inches on the right and up 2 inches on the left. And then I just cut it with my paper trimmer, and that gave me this little diagonal. Now this one, it was the same thing. I found it just wasn't standing out enough. So this one we're going to ink the edges just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more definition from the rest of the card, or from the background. Plus it kind of takes away the white edge a little tiny bit. I'm not putting a lot, it's very little. I'm not trying to sponge all the way in or anything like that. I just want to get a little bit of a, almost a border, I guess. And you can see that there is a difference between the two now. For the card front, again, the card front is 5 1/4 by 4. And for this, I want to stamp using just the little dots here to give it a little bit of pattern in the background. I don't need to go all over. As long as it's underneath the pattern paper, I'm good. And actually, I found it really bright, so I'm actually going to stamp off once, because I think that would be a little bit better than the really bright color. So I'm just stamping off once, and then just twisting my stamp block. Yes, I think that's much better. It's just a little bit more subtle than that one by stamping it off once. Okay, so that's for the front, and the butterflies are for the front. For the inside of the card, again, it's another 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of basic white. I just stamped You're My Bestie, and then I used that same dotted one. Now, usually I would use Memento, but my Memento, I have like 4 ink pads, and every single one of them was dried out, so I wasn't getting a good impression. So I had to switch to Versifying, which is fine. It's just that Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell that one. I'm going to try to get it straight. If not, I'm just going to go with it. The only problem with VersaFine, I do like it too. The only problem though, it takes longer to dry because it's like a pigment. It's apparently a fast drying pigment ink, but I still find it takes a while, so you can end up smudging it really easily. I think that's good enough. Okay, now we have back to our dots. So that's the inside. Now I'm just going to let that sit there and dry while I clean up this a little bit. And then we'll put our card together. Okay, I'm hoping this is dry enough that I won't smudge it. But we'll work on the front first. And I'm not putting any type of embellishment on this one, I don't think. I think it's still pretty, just plain without any added ribbon or anything. I'm using Tombow Mono liquid adhesive, but you can use the tape runner or whatever you like. I prefer glue because I find that I can just wiggle it around and be able to get it easier for me to get placement. Okay, now we're going to add the pattern paper. Suppose if you wanted to, you could cut the white the same way so that you're not wasting it, but it was such a small amount and I just, you know, just didn't want to do that. And this is going to go on there. Now I think actually I will get some Stampin' Dimensionals and just pop that up just a little bit. Sorry, my furnace just kicked on, but I just don't feel like doing the voiceover for this. In the winter it's such a pain because my craft room is right next to our furnace. I'm in the basement, but I'm very thankful to even have a craft room, so I deal with it. And then the two butterflies go right here. Now, I'm not popping them up in at least a little bit, but I am only going to glue the bodies themselves down. That's the front. Now all we have to do is add the inside in the same way, just using glue. Okay, there we go. That's our card for today. That's the first one from using this suite, the Best Butterflies Stamp and Die set. And I think it's called Butterfly Kisses Suite Collection from the annual catalog. I think they're so adorable. If you want a sneak peek on the next card we're going to do, you just have to look in the catalog on page 36 and you will see a collection of them that or ideas or inspiration that you can take from them. Now this one I didn't change too much. We are going to be making this one, but I did change that one up a little bit. I'm also making this one. I changed it up a bit because I don't have the die that they have for that label, but I mean you can use what you have, right? Okay, so that was it. I hope everybody's having a great day, and we will catch you very soon with another card from using the Best Butterflies Stamp and Die set. Thanks for watching.